Before we go any further, it should be noted by definition what a template is. And a template is something that serves as a master or pattern from which other similar things can be made. So I've got an invoice here that I'm sending off to Barney Fife, but then after this I've got another client that I want to invoice, like let's say Warner. So instead of like recreating this, we can just go ahead and overwrite who it's going to be addressed to and then update the description down below. But better yet, what I can do is I can get rid of all the dynamic fields, meaning that all the fields that will always be changing with each new invoice, who we're billing, and then save it as a template. So instead of opening up an old invoice and replacing who we previously invoiced, because we could make mistakes, we could actually leave the name and type in a new address, or have the name changed and keep the same address. If we just go ahead and clear it out, then we know when it's blank and there's nothing there that, well, you got to type somebody in. So there's less confusion when, at least for me, when I get rid of all those dynamic fields and save it as a template. So to do that, of course, let's go ahead and click and drag and delete, and click and drag and delete that. And that looks pretty good. Oh, except for the invoice number, it's not always going to be 100. We can go ahead and delete that. And then to save it as a template, well, come up here. And on the quick access toolbar, I got my save as command. Click on that. And then down below, we're going to change the type from a document to a Word template, .dotx. Go ahead and select it. Automatically takes you right into the My Documents folder, the subfolder Custom Office Templates. And you can go ahead and give your template a name and call it My Spiffy Invoice. Go ahead and click Save, and there you go. Of course, any changes you make here and click Save, it'll update it. And you can see up there on the title bar, the .dotx, the DOT, the extension, is for template. And if you want to learn more about extensions, you can watch my Windows training video on extensions. In any case, all you have to do is go ahead and close out of here, and then open up Microsoft Word. And then when I'm ready to create that new invoice, to invoice.warner, I don't have to open up an old template and type over what's there, but just come up here, click on File, go down to New, and it's going to be saved in Personal. So click on that, and there it is, My Spiffy Invoice. Go ahead and click on it. Hey, there we go. And then we can just come down in here and type in who it's to. We'll say .warner, and then type in the rest of the information that's proprietary to this client that we're invoicing. And then when we're done, when you click Save, well, first off on the title bar, it's a Word document, so it's not going to overwrite the original template, which is nice because when I click Save, it forces me to do a Save As and save it as something else. If I do want to overwrite the original template, well, then just come down here and change the type from document to Word template.dotx, and it's right there. Just go ahead and select it so it has the same name, click Save. It won't let me overwrite it right now because I haven't closed out of the session yet, and Word will do that. In fact, most all of Office applications will do that. So you have to close out of everything you have open so it refreshes, and then when you do a Save As, you'll be able to overwrite it. So if you can overwrite it, and you definitely want to update it with some changes that you made, well, maybe not with Dot, but let's pretend we made changes without putting her name in there, like we had a new address. In any case, you can go ahead and just, say it's invoice number 2, and then click Save. Now remember, it's in the Customization Templates folder, and you can find that, well, if I right-click on the Start button and open up Windows Explorer, it's in the Libraries. So in the Libraries, you've got Documents, double-click on that. In the Documents folder, you've got Custom Office Templates, double-click, and there you go. The second one that we saved and the original one. So if you want to do it this way, you can go ahead and delete that and then update that with a right click, go down to rename, and then in that box delete 2, and then hit enter, and it will update it. But if I do that now and hit enter, it says we already have something that contains the same name, so we can't do that right now. We'll click cancel. And this is where you can go as well to delete your templates, reorganize it as it were, rename them. Let's go ahead and close out. So that's our own custom templates. Let me go ahead and close out of them. Well, let's go with the blank document here. because you can update the blank template. When you go backstage, click on File, go down to New, you want to create a new blank document. Let's hit back. Well, the new blank document is going to have its own default font, paragraph, and page layout. So if you click on the expandable dialog box button for the font group, you see down below where it says Set as Default. So the default font is Body, which is a theme font, and we talked about themes in another training video. But if you want something else, that every time you create a new blank document, like Times New Roman, regular, size 12, you can see a preview of it down below. Go ahead and set it, click on Set as Default, and it says, do you want it for this document only, or all documents based on the, normal or global template? So you could keep it to this document only, but in any case, let's go ahead and click Cancel. That's for your fonts. How about your paragraphs? Click on the expandable dialog box button. You can go ahead and make your changes here, set it, and then say you want to set that as the default as well. For this document or all documents, click Cancel, Cancel, and then finally the Layout tab, which if we go to the Page Setup group and click on the expandable dialog box button, you also have a set default there as well. So when it comes to your margins, if your default isn't 1 inch on all 4 sides, or it is, but you want to change it, then go ahead and make your changes, and you get the preview window down below. And then you can set that as your default. Now this one says, do you want to change the default settings for the page setup? And it updates the global template. So you don't get the option of just this document. It's going to go for all new documents. So we'll say no. So that way, when you create a new document, you've got it tweaked for your margins, your fonts, and there's the paragraph.